Elara lived in a village perched on the edge of the whispering woods, a place where the wind carried tales and the river hummed ancient melodies. Her days were spent at her loom, her nimble fingers transforming plain yarn into tapestries that shimmered with the very essence of the forest. Verdant leaves, soaring eagles, and the quiet majesty of deer. But Elara's tapestries were more than just pretty pictures. They were woven with her dreams, her hopes, and the vibrant threads of her resilient spirit. One year, a blight swept through the valley, turning the fertile fields barren and silencing the joyful songs of the villagers. Despair settled over them like a thick fog. Food became scarce, and hope, an even rarer commodity. Elara watched, heartbroken, as the colors drained from their faces, much like the dyes from an old fabric. She continued to weave, though her own stomach growled and her fingers grew stiff with cold. She poured every ounce of her remaining strength into a new tapestry, unlike any she had created before. Instead of depicting the flourishing woods, she wove a scene of a tiny, stubborn sprout pushing through cracked earth, its tender leaves reaching for a distant golden sun. Around it, she wove the faint, shimmering outlines of forgotten flowers, waiting for their time to bloom again. When the tapestry was finally finished, she brought it to the village square where the elders sat in grim silence. "Look," she said, her voice soft but clear. "This is not what is, but what will be. The earth is tired, yes, but it is not dead. And neither are we." The villagers gathered, their eyes at first vacant. But as they looked at the tapestry, truly looked, something shifted. They saw the struggling sprout, yes, but they also saw the promise of the sun, the memory of the flowers. They saw Elara, thin but unyielding, her eyes alight with a fire that hadn't been extinguished. That day, no great miracle occurred. The fields didn't suddenly burst into bloom, but a different kind of seed was planted, the seed of renewed hope. Inspired by Elara's unwavering faith, the villagers began to tend to the barren soil with renewed determination, sharing what little they had, finding strength in their collective spirit. They learned to value the small triumphs, the tiny green shoots that eventually began to emerge, just like in Elara's tapestry. Years later, when the valley was green once more, Elara's tapestry hung in the village hall, a vibrant testament to resilience. It reminded them that even in the darkest times, a single thread of hope, woven with unwavering spirit, can illuminate the path back to life. And that true inspiration often comes not from grand pronouncements, but from the quiet, persistent act of creating beauty and belief, even when all seems low.